I'm sure there's a few bumps and bruises as well amongst the team.
Japan will play immediately following this game, well, not before 12 p.m. at least, against Australia in a rematch of what was a great game yesterday. And then at 6:30, they'll play for the Softball Australia Cup. Kudo to center field, and Aaron Blackmore makes the play, holds the runners. There's the first out for New Zealand. When do you eat? When do you get that good nourishment here? I mean, it would have to be in that window of the third game, but it's sort of an awkward time, especially if your body clock isn't used to eating at 3 p.m. Let's say that's probably when they have to be eating, hydrating. Hydrating is probably the key of this all.
Yep, exactly. Getting in as many electrolytes into the water bottles as they can, but it's really just snacking throughout the day. You don't want to be sitting down to a really solid meal at any point throughout the day.
Would have been something that the coaching staff and medical staff of Japan would have identified days before, or well, whenever the draw came out, they would have identified that this was a potential. They know the temperature here. At this level, preparation for a grueling day like this doesn't start on the day. It starts well before, making sure that you are hydrated days in advance, eating properly in the lead up to that day. So when you do have to run on reserves, your reserves are well stocked. Crunch to right field again, and nice play from Bromhead Lamalu. Both runners will advance, but Bromhead makes sure that one finds the glove. And there was 2 runners on and nobody out. Now there are 2 out and still 2 on.
Yeah, lovely catch here. Read it well. Nice take over the left shoulder and able to get the ball back into play to make sure the runner's only got 1 extra base. Tagging on that fly. Lovely big throw.
Letting the field do the work. Japan scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 here in the third. They've been slowly rolling the scoreboard over. New Zealand have had some nice moments, a couple nice plays in the field, including an inning-ending double play. Natsumi Fujimura.
Interesting shaping to bunt there. I think what's really interesting, and we just saw the Japanese base runner there, Tsukamoto, looking around, looking at the outfield, just knowing where they are, where they're placed, if they're deep, if they're shallow. And they're the 1%ers that you need to do when you're on base. Knowing where your outfield is, particularly at second base. If it does go in the hole, knowing if you can actually round third and head for home.
Those 1%ers Japan have been so good at historically. You're not the world number 1 by accident. Flared out into foul territory. Will it stay in play? Yes, it does. Holly Jacobs makes the play. Japan scored 2 in the inning. It could have been more. They had runners on first and second and nobody out, but a great job from Tanisha Hakamo, who comes in and allows 1 walk, and then 1, 2, 3. Kudo, Suto, and Fujimura go down, and New Zealand are down 5-0 as they'll get their turn to bat here in the third.
Nice take there by Holly Jacobs, having contend with the son, the third base coach, the dugout.
The fence. Yeah, third base coach just jumping out of the way. Makes the nice play as he'll turn the lineup over. It'll still be Masaki Katsumata, the 26-year-old, working into her third inning. She's gone through the lineup once, +1. Has allowed just the 1 hit to Haley Breakwell. She has walked 3 and struck out 3 so far. New Zealand has got the leadoff runner aboard twice today in their 2 innings. Runner tagged out, trying to score from second. It was the closest New Zealand came to scoring so far. Let's see if they can put together a run in this inning.
Well, all positive signs, as you said. They have had runners on base, they just haven't been able to really capitalise and get that run on the board. But they have made Katsumata throw a lot of pitches. They've all gone deep in the count, which is pleasing. So hopefully coming through this second line through the lineup, second time through, beg your pardon, see if they can actually make something happen here.
Makia showing bunt, trying to find a creative way to get on base. She struck out looking her first time at the dish. Carrie Franklin, the one, I think, calling time there. Fouled off to the left side.
Just telling her to slow down, just ensure that the batter's set. Katsumata doesn't muck around when she gets on the plate. She likes to have a lot of speed in between pitches. Doesn't take a lot of time.
Well, a nice piece of hitting. Shows you don't have to do too much with it as Makia gets on base.
It's another leadoff on base.
3 for 3 in that department today.
5-0 down. We'll be interested to see if Coach Wallace lets Lace hit away or whether they opt for a bunt. Corners are in nice and close.
And Tungianu, second on the team in terms of hits, leading the team in average. He's not on base at a 600 clip. Probably feels like the right call just to let her swing. And she puts a charge into a ball, but it's going to be caught by Urara Fujimoto, and there is one down.
Just off that, a solid piece of the ball. Just slightly underneath it. Nice piece, but unable to move Akia over to second base.
Bromhead Lamalu still looking for that first hit of the week. She's been on base a few times, though. She's walked. Still productive at bats.
It's a great swing there. Nice change of pace there by Katsumata.
Like you said, Katsumata works quickly. Japanese have shown they slow down games. When they're under pressure a little bit, they seem to slow things down.
And then when they're on a roll, suddenly you look up and you're in the 6th innings and you're 6-0 down.
Up the middle. It's a nice backhanded pick for one, a double play.
That is pretty to watch right there. A little bit of Hollywood by the middle infield, Ishikawa and Kudo.
Wow. It ends the inning as well. Take a look at this on the replay. That is as pretty as it gets. Kudo to Ishikawa to Okawa.
They're all day. They would train for that each and every day, hoping that they get an opportunity to do that. A little bit of Hollywood there, backhand flick, recognising she didn't have time to actually get her hand inside her glove, and just chose to flick it off to Ishikawa. Wonderful footwork there at second base. Any young pivots watching today, put that on rewind and just watch the footwork there at second base by the shortstop.
And it really did take away a base hit, too. I thought this was up the middle for days. Would have been tricky, too, as well. I mean, it was the right play. I mean, she could have veered her motion and stepped on the bag, but then you wouldn't have been able to make that throw for the double play. That was an unbelievable effort from both of those players, even just to get on the ball from Kana Kudo.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and you can see that she charged the ball. She didn't wait to get the ball on too far back on her backhand. She charged the ball, was able to give a lovely delivery there to Ishikawa, who, as you said, scooted around the backside of second base to get out of the way of the base runner and got a solid throw over to Okawa at first base.
The infield has been good from Japan all week long. They've played 5 different players in either shortstop or second base as we start the 4th inning. Ishikawa leads things off. So they certainly have the depth as well, but Ishikawa, known as sort of the lead communicator on this team as well. I think that's part of the, we watch those plays all the time, and you can sit up in the booth or you can see it from the crowd when you're watching those highlight reel plays, and the middle infield tends to make the game look pretty cool, but so much of it is about communication between not just the 2 pivots in the middle, but also the catcher in the outfield as well.
You're exactly right. And I think that's what the world beaters in softball do remarkably well. There's constant communication amongst the corners, amongst the pivots, the catcher obviously commanding where they need the field to be.
Ground ball right back to Tanisha. She makes the play, and there's one down. A leadoff runner sat down for the first time since the 1st inning. It's 4 in a row now for Hakamo.
Nice piece of fielding there, having to get down nice and low to get that lead off, that critical lead off. Just getting away from Simeon there behind the plate. So I think the White Sox would be keen to get Fujimoto out, get out of this innings without any more damage to the scoreboard. That's what this Japanese team has done well all weekend. They've just been building, so they put a number of runs on the board, and then each innings they start chipping away at that scoreline. Next thing you know, it's you're down 7, 8, 9, 10-0.
It's the 3, 4, 5 batters who have been doing the bulk of the scoring for Japan in this game, and they are lurking closely. They are due up after this batter, and Urara Fujimoto. Ground ball again to second. Makia, you can't afford those when you have a speedy player like Fujimoto. She did a good job of blocking it. By the time she recovered, the runner was already at first.
Yeah, that's a really hard play. Unsure where that bounce is going to go. A lot of top spin that's put on the ball, as you can see. Nice high hands. Had no option but to charge that. And then, as you said, just to contend with the speed of Fujimoto.
Mayu Okawa, 1 for 1 with a walk, 2 runs, a double. As they turn a double play, the very dangerous Saori Yamauchi will bat. As you see, I don't know if you can see it on your screen here, all the Australian players arriving at the ballpark. This ripped down the right field line. Well taken by the right fielder. Throw all the way into third. Wow, what a cannon. That traveled a long distance, but it is a double and a 3rd time on base for Okawa.
They're giving Bromhead Lamalu a lot of work out there. Big day in the office for her out in right field. Does really well to cut that off. If that ball had have gotten past her, that was highly likely inside the diamond home run. So well done to contain it at 2, but a big out here.
Yamauchi hit the home run in the 1st inning, doubled in a run in the 3rd. She's homered 3 times this week, more than any other player in the tournament. Going to get a pinch hitter, though, I think. Yeah, we are. And it'll be Yui Nakamizo. Doesn't get any easier, though. Nakamizo has only been out once all week.
A nice, tidy home run under a belt as well.
Rhino hugged the left field wall, Nakamizo. It did. First New Zealand as well So you can celebrate if you're New Zealand, saying, hey, Yamauchi out of the lineup, and then you remember someone who has been the toughest out in the competition.
Called strike there. Nakazimo thought that was a base on balls. Kerry Franklin thought otherwise. 3-1 count.
Nakamizo ripped to short. Well taken. They're going to go home with the runner, and now they might have a runner in the rundown. Packed at second, safe at second. Everybody is safe. Oh, it was so close. 2 and out. A great play from Breakwell, but it'll be loaded nonetheless. Fiona, a lot happening there.
It happened everywhere. Home plate, second base, a great pick up there by Haley Breakwell. That is a tough play to land, then to get to her feet. Saw the opportunity to get a pick off at second base. Almost an opportunity for a pick off at third base. It was all happening there, Eric. Loads the bases, though.
Kirishi, 2 for 2 as well in this game.
Again, as we see that play, I tell you what, our middle infielders are putting on quite a show from both teams in this game. Just couldn't quite affect the tag there at second base. Great softball, though.
Kirishi caught the World Cup gold medal win a couple years ago. One that Goto and Ueno both pitched in. New Zealand have turned a double play today. That's what they'll be looking for again.
This is a big out here. If they can just get an infield hit, get that force play at home.
Check swing, held back. Japan on the precipice of blowing this one open. New Zealand have hung tough. Just missed it.
Nice big swing there. Got speed at third base.
Got speed everywhere. Nakamizo can run from first as well. We've seen a couple bases clearing base hits from Japan this week. And now there is nowhere to put her. Has to be a strike or it will be a run.
The key is not to put too much of the ball over the plate.
It's a 6-0 advantage for Japan. Kirishi's been on board all 3 times today, and again, they get through 3, 4, 5, and even though there is a pinch hitter in the mix, nobody has been sat down yet in their 9 plate appearances combined.
So we get a look there at the bullpen. Tawani Lambert from Softball New Zealand, the chair of their federation.
Tsukamoto. She's got home run power. We haven't seen it yet, and she goes swinging first pitch. It's out to center field. Blackmore is there, makes the play. Runner will try to tag. It'll be cut off. Run will score. Job done by Tsukamoto. It is the third different player, I should say, that has an RBI, and it is a 7-0 lead.
Nice take there by Erin Blackmore.
Kanakudo kick-started that spectacular double play in the 3rd inning.
And the cut play there, as we saw, Shaw Tate trying to just pick that ball up and go for a pick off there at third base. Unfortunately, just bobbled out of the glove, but nice idea. Got another 1-3 split situation here. So interested to see what the Japanese base runners do in this situation.
New Zealand have done a good job as that ball slips away. Play at the plate, a diving Tanisha Hokamo. It'll be an 8-run on the board. It's a 3-run inning. That's their most yet Japan have had today. And for the most part, New Zealand have done a good job of limiting the damage of a lot of pressure from Japan, but this is their breakthrough inning.
Yeah, unfortunately, the ball just got away there from Simeon, looking to make that throw over to 2 in the 1-3 split situation.
They just keep coming at you. They have been so good at taking extra bases. They wait for you to make a mistake, and then they pounce. Rip to right field, moving back and making the play in right field. Well caught out in right field. That one by Poppy Priddle, who has entered the game. And Priddle makes a nice play. That's a 16-year-old who had to track that one down, Fiona Crawford.
Welcome to the game, Poppy Priddle. That's a great catch there. Tracking that ball nicely. Again, great footwork there. Easy to get yourself a bit muddled up when you're chasing balls like this, but she turned the right way, turned over that right shoulder, and was able to make a solid catch on that. Well done, Poppy.
A 3-run inning. Priddle's had some nice moments in the field. She threw a runner out after taking a catch in center. Threw a runner out, a Japanese runner at third in a game earlier. You can see why they like her a lot. The youngster who debuted at 15 years old in the Canada Cup for the senior side last year. Meanwhile, Misaki Katsumata is still in the mound. There's been a couple of changes. Let's see what they are. We've got Nakamizo, who is now defensively playing at third after coming in for Sayori Yamauchi. So it's Nakamizo, Ishikawa, Kudo, and Okawa from left to right on the infield. Kiraishi is still catching. Tsukamoto, Fujimoto, and Fujimori are over in the outfield from left to right. New Zealand have made a change. It's Poppy Priddle in at right field. She won't get an at-bat here. Bromhead Lamalu was the last out for New Zealand. Haley Breakwell has a single, nearly cashed in a run, turned to double play. I think that's a good day.
I think it's a nice day in the office. Haley Breakwell looking to get another hit. She had that nice hit into left field, her last at bat.
If she plays versus Australia, it'll be game number 50 for her today in her international career. And we got told this by the New Zealand team, so I have a feeling she's going to be playing versus Australia today to get her cap number 50. And it makes sense. She's one of the better players, one of the leaders on this team, has been part of the program for over a decade, has played some college softball. And you figure New Zealand are going to go at Australia today, sensing a chance that they've been close. They can pull it all together. They have a good chance of getting a win. Now, Breakwell with some power to left field. It's in foul territory and running against the wall and making the play is Hataro Tsukamoto.
That's a fantastic catch. You can see probably a little bit winded there, but the commitment to the ball here, straight off the bat, you can see her wheels. Shortstop Ishikawa would be telling her, you're close, you're close. She would have felt the warning track under her feet. That's commitment.
This is a dead rubber in a game that is 8-0 and running against a cement wall and chain link fence. Hataro Tsukamoto, you'd be forgiven if you thought this was game 3 of an important series. There's a nice ground ball over to Kana Kudo, who makes the play, and there's 2 down. My goodness. I'm sure you feel a jolt in the dugout as a player when you see a play like that be made of a teammate doing something for you.
Yeah, exactly. As we see here, nice defensive play there by Kudo. But it is, you can see it unfolding as a player, watching your fellow teammate running towards danger and just hoping that they brace for impact.
It's interesting you said the shortstop would have been telling her you're close. That communication having to happen from the middle infield to a player who's also trying to read the ball, contend with the sun.
Exactly. We talked about that, the importance of communication a little bit earlier, because it was so far foul down the left field line. Centre field wouldn't have been able to help, so that's why it's critical that you would have seen Ishikawa tail back towards her to help her out, to let her know that she was close.
Pettit up the middle. It's a base hit for Lise Pettit. She's had a couple multi-hit games already this week. She's on base twice today.
That's a great hit. Didn't try and do too much with that ball. Nice to see that that hit that she got to the inner thigh on her first at-bat hasn't hampered her ability. So well done. Once again, another base runner on for the White Sox.
Carrie Simeon first appeared at the senior level for the White Sox back in 2017. And now she puts a jolt into a ball in the right field, diving on and almost a spectacular catch from Natsumi Fujimori. Oh, it would have been the double in an already excellent defensive innings. A+ for effort.
You can see her initial reaction straight off the bat, just tracking that ball. Oh, she had it, just popped out.
She knows it too. The reaction kind of says it all as she laid out.
That coach we were talking about that coached me many, many years ago used to tell me, if it hits your glove, you should have had it. So she was cruel.
That's the mentality of elite players, right? Make plays that nobody else has any business of making. Just like Kanakuda, you saw that earlier at second. That's a play that not a lot of second basewomen in this game would probably make.
Exactly. And the confidence just to back yourself to have a go and to dive at that. But just the level of commitment, as you said, 8-0, easy to just let that ball go foul.
Game one of 3 that you have to play today. It'll be a 14-hour day at the ballpark today for this Japanese national team. You hear that when you talk to a lot of endurance athletes. Hey, don't burn yourself out too early. But the Japanese going hard in the game. They've already secured their spot in the grand final. I love to see it. It's a great example of how you should play the game.
You're exactly right. It's just that respect for the game that we can see here from both the Japanese side and the New Zealand side. They are doing remarkably well. The scoreboard just doesn't show how deep they're getting in the count and the plays that they're making.
Now a rip to left field. This one will drop in for a base hit. Runner will be held up at third. And it's a good piece for Carrie Simeon on her birthday against the world #1.
Oh, that's a great hit straight off the bat. She would have known that that was a solid hit. Coach Wallace opting to hold the runner at 3 as we can see that ball going into the outfield. Unfortunately, there was a bobble at shortstop by Ishikawa, so that was their opportunity to go for that play at home and send Pettit, but opting to hold her up at 3. Hoping Holly Jacobs can get a run on the board here for the White Sox.
Back-to-back base hits with 2 outs. And it comes from the 7-8 part of the lineup. Seven different White Sox have found their way on the base paths today.
Just needs to find a little bit of grass here to get that first run on the board.
Holly Jacobs to right field, but a couple steps back from Natsumi Fujimori. And with 2 outs, the White Sox, they threaten but Japan closed the door. They lead it 8-0 as we head to the 5th inning, and we will head down to the sidelines with Georgie Trickett.
Thank you, Eric. I'm down here with Trevor Murphy, who is one of our WSBC officials and the person in charge of the umpires today. Trevor, what sort of preparation have these umpires needed for such an international competition?
Well, every umpire here will have gone through a program within their own country. We have 8 umpires here from Australia and 1 from New Zealand. They go through a program to work from a very limited understanding of the game right up to national level, and then they have to go to a WBSC clinic, which is about a week long, and they finish that and they get their licence to umpire internationally. The opportunity these guys have here is one that they don't get anywhere else unless we have international guests. Going overseas is very difficult, very challenging, cost prohibitive, and bringing the game to the umpires is fantastic. So the development they've done has been, some of these people have been doing it for 20 years. Some have only got their licence in the last 12 months.
Well, they're working in incredible conditions and we really appreciate their work.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was interesting to hear, bringing the game to the umpires, and it's sort of an forgotten part here in Australia. Is like you have to travel so far to play against international competition. As Suto takes a pitch, but not just the the umpires also benefiting from this experience of the last month and change, having the world number 5 in Chinese Taipei, the world number 2 in the United States, the world number 1 in Japan, and of course New Zealand, who are on the verge of cracking that top 20, come over here. That's high caliber players, and the game's quicker for them too at this level.
Yep, you can't buy that sort of experience. And let's not forget, these guys are volunteers as well. So every time that they have to come to a tournament, it's annual leave that they're taking away from their jobs, not getting paid for it. There's a lot of love jobs in this sport. So a big shout out to all the umpires. They do a remarkable job.
That's a great point. Rip to right field from Suto. That drops in for a base hit. Rattles up in the right field corner. Suto takes a hard turnaround 2. She'll stand up on 3 with a triple. It's her first hit of the game, 7th of the tournament. And Japan in business again in the 5th.
Nice smile there by Suto. Just lands this inside of the fair ball line. But just the multi-base hits that this Japanese team have, we're not just talking singles. The 2 base and the 3 base hits throughout the lineup, 1 to 9.
Does she have a Japanese flag, did I see, on her mouth guard?
I think you did.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. New Zealand will have a couple hours in between games. They'll get to round out their tournament playing Australia. We talk about challenging in the day. There it is.
On cue. Thank you very much, Suto, just for the camera.
But Australia are going to have to play 3 games in a row. There's no break. Japan, they're here earlier, so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. What would you rather have, Fiona, knowing both are grueling days? Would you rather show up at the field at 7 a.m., play 3 games, but know you have a 3-hour, 4-hour gap somewhere in there before the grand final game? Or would you rather get there and roll 1 game into another and then play a 3rd after that?
I think I'd take the break.
You take the break?
I'd certainly take the break. I mean, let's not forget this Japanese team. They're seasoned to this kind of work. They're training anywhere up to 10 hours a day. So, this is just business as usual for them. But certainly would appreciate the break. Just getting a chance to rehydrate, get the body temperature down, and getting a bit of treatment would help.
The Australian players may not get the luxury of being a full-time softball player, but over the last month and change, these players have been sort of living the full-time softball life. You talk about the Australian players, they've been playing Gilly Shields tournaments just a couple weeks ago, and those are the exact scenarios that you have as Fujimori Flies one to center field, and that is gone to straightaway center. A long ball from the Diamond League East Division MVP. And it's double digits on the board for Japan.
And you can see she's enjoying that one, as does the whole team. Just launches that ball. I think Erin Blackmore knew off the bat that was going over the fence. And again, not a huge swing, just connecting with the ball, letting the pace do the work. We talked about that, the ability for this lineup to hit 1 to 9. When you're looking at your number 9 hitter that's sending home runs over the centre field fence, it's a dangerous team.
Well, all but one, no, every player, never mind, every player has been on base today for the Japanese starting 9 today. In fact, 10 players have been on base total today, with Nakamizo coming in, lined out over to short. That's Haley Breakwell on the play. It is a relentless Japanese squad. Always have been.
And that's what we were saying, before you know it, if it's a 3-0 ball game, suddenly you look up and just a few innings later and it's a 10-run difference.
Fujimoto nearly found some grass.
Hit that hard ball to Makia at second base, her last at bat.
Grounded into a double play as well. We are now at the run rule, though. It is 10 after 4, 7 after 5. New Zealand still will get a turn to bat, but to extend the game, they'll need to hold Japan here and then score 4 runs of their own in the bottom of the 5th.
And as you can see, what the Japanese team do remarkably well is just keep their weight back on their back foot. The temptation is where a pitcher is perhaps not throwing at the speed of other pitchers, is to get on your front foot to really get out in front of the ball and just top it. But you can see they've just got an ability to keep the weight back. Nice take there in the sun by Haley Breakwell.
That's a good point. Game of adjustments, this game. Back on the point of those long days. Obviously the long day here for Japan and in the heat. But yeah, we mentioned Australia obviously come through their Gilly Shield. You get those in tournament play in Australia a lot. You have those 3 games per day that a lot of those teams will have to play as well. Sometimes it ends up being a triple header. So these athletes are kind of coming out of that perfect conditioning stint for an experience like this. And it can be made easier by the coaching staff as well. It won't be the same lineup each of those 3 games.
You're exactly right. And the players and the coaching staff and also the extended support staff would have known the draw of this series weeks in advance. So they would have prepared for this. They would have known that they were steering into 3 games back-to-back. So I'm sure they've put lots of preparations in place. They've got, as I said, a number of support staff that are travelling with them, sports psychologists, doctors, nutritionists. So they'd certainly be making use of all of the resources that are available to them.
There will be a little bit more of a gap between game 3 and 4 today that they can have, but it's sort of an awkward one too. I mean, there's going to be a Softball Australia Hall of Fame presentation with 3, legendary players being inducted officially into the Hall of Fame today. I'm sure a lot of the players will want to take part in that, but it also gives you a chance to actually eat, recover, hydrate as well. Ground ball to first, diving foot race for it. How about the effort from Denva Shaw Tate, not taking any chances, gets the final out, and there's some desperation from the Kiwis.
What commitment there from Shaw Tate. Knowing that Akawa has speed. And we're talking a 10-0 ball game, and we're still seeing that sort of commitment. That's just what the pride in these jerseys means to these players, and just taking every opportunity.
It's a great point. You're representing a lot of people when you put that jersey on, not just your country, but your community, your people around you that got you there. A lot of these players on New Zealand especially had to fundraise just to be able to come to this tournament. See the run difference rule. Those are the WBSC rules, I should add. So it is the bottom of the 5th inning, which means New Zealand, who will go the 3rd time through the order against Misaki Katsumata, need to score 4 runs. Japan have kept the scoreboard moving. They had a 2-run homer in the 1st. Thanks to Sayori Yamauchi, they scored 1 thanks to a triple from Kanakudo in the 2nd. 2 in the 3rd, a lineup of doubles from the 3-4-5. 3 in the 4th, taking advantage of some errors and base running, and then 2 runs in the 5th as well. Now, Danica Fariso will step in for a turn at the plate.
Fariso's had 3 hits this tournament.
Got a couple nice plays in the field as well.
And well done here, just stepping out of the plate, recognising I'm not ready yet.
Fariso, another veteran player on this New Zealand White Sox team. Ground ball to short. Blocked, and a quick recovery from Kyoko Ishikawa at shortstop. And there's 1 down.
It was a solid piece of the ball there by Fariso. She's got some wheels herself. Just took that awkward hop there. It just shows the speed of these infielders in being able to get the ball away over to first.
Ground ball again to second, and that's 2 nice plays from the infield. Kanakudo, good adjustment to get down after, I think she was expecting a hop there.
Yeah, I think she obviously she learned from the play just before, so making sure she was nice and low, putting her body behind the ball. Textbook fielding.
Lace Tangiano represents, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Dr. Lara Andrews will step in. Everybody getting an opportunity late in the game here. Lara Andrews entered the day, leading New Zealand with 5 hits to her name.
Nothing to lose here.
We'll see her, I'm sure, in the lineup versus Australia, the final game for the White Sox. They've played Australia close, mind you, especially those first 2 days. Now going complete off speed.
That's a remarkable pitch. That's coming in at easily 25 Ks slower than the pitch before.
Katsumata 1 strike away from making it 4 wins for Japan versus New Zealand. Andrews, the toughest out, you could argue, in this New Zealand batting lineup, though. A playing career that's had over 100 matches internationally for the White Sox. Fouled it away.
Oh, that's a good swing there. Love that, just locking in here. A lot of players go off feel when they go into the batter's box, so you could see Lara just reminding herself what it feels like to get a good connection on the ball.
Ball down in the dirt. There's been about 3 different speeds that have been presented to Andrews in her first at-bat. Also a sign of respect from Katsumata for the quality batter that Andrews is. Flares it towards shallow outfield. So shallow, it's Kanakudo that moves back and makes the play, and that will do it. Misaki Katsumata, 5 shutout innings. A couple home runs from the Japanese top side. They score in every one of their offensive innings. That was just a keep the scorecard moving performance from Japan. No errors in the field for Japan. They've cleaned that up a little bit. A couple walks early in the game, but those last few innings really impressive, especially from Katsumata.
Yeah, it was pretty clinical there from the Japanese side, but lots to take away for the White Sox team. You know, they had 3 base on balls, and we've talked throughout the game the discipline that they've shown in the box, and a couple of solid outfield hits as well. So again, you know, there's lots that this team can take away, and after each game, I feel like they're getting better and better. And I don't think the scoreboard of 10-0 is reflective of the quality of game that we saw.
For Japan, they will get it'll be a quick turnaround for them. They've got to play the Aussie Spirit in about 90 minutes' time. For New Zealand, well, they have to wait it out for about 4.5 hours before their next game. It's sort of an awkward distance. It's almost too long to go back to the hotel, not long enough. Or not long enough to go back to the hotel, too long. You got to stay at the field a little bit too. So we'll see how New Zealand decide to keep cool. There's a shopping center nearby. Maybe you go there, get some food, and get in the air condition. I'm sure they'll be up top where we are too. But we're going to go down to the field in a moment. Georgie Trickett will be standing by with a Japanese player. There's a few options that you could go to if you are Georgie down there. Maybe Natsumi Fujimori, the reigning MVP, might be a good bet. She hit that home run to make it 10-0, and I think that is exactly who she is going to have. So let's throw it down, dugout side with Georgie Trickett and Fujimori.
Thank you, Eric. That's right. I'm down here with Fujimori, who has just had the most incredible turn at bat. 2 runs batted in, and a home run. What did it feel like to hit that ball so hard and over the fence?
今日素晴らしい成績を残しました藤森選手です。で、いろんなヒットとあともう大きいホームランありました。フェンスを力強く越えていくのはどんな感じですか？
はい、打った瞬間に気持ちよく飛んでったので、すごいここまであんまり打ててなかったので、すごいいい打席で良かったです。
So until today, she didn't like the hard score, but now when she hits the ball, she feels like, oh yes, that goes over the fence, and they feel so happy today.
And you could really see your bench get excited and celebrate. How do you guys now go into that next game?
もうベンチに帰った時にもう皆さんが喜んでる、本人が一番喜んでるのを見ました。で、次の試合に対してはどういうふうに入っていきたいですか？
はい、あと2試合、次とその次の試合がすごく大切になってくるので、チームのみんなをもっと元気に笑顔にできるように、私自身からパワフルにやっていきたいです。
So of course the next game is still qualify at the final. Both the games are really important, and she wanna cheer up more teams, and she play more better, that play better.
Well, best of luck, and we're looking forward to some more great softball. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, she seems to play the game with a lot of joy, and I think one thing to remember here with this Japanese team is there's a few new faces on this squad as well. They would all play against each other in the Diamond League and in the competition in Japan, but there's not too many opportunities for this group of human beings to jump on a plane together, spend every day together, train together. You know that firsthand, the bond you form with your teammates from going through an experience like this, especially to a new country for the first time, and they all seem a lot more comfortable with each other and playing the game with a lot of joy on day 4 compared to day 1.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we saw, the team when she did say that she probably hasn't been having the tournament that she wanted. And then when she hit the ball over the fence, the team was just as excited as she was. And that just speaks volumes. You know, you're always aware when someone isn't perhaps having the tournament that they would like. And then when they do get a little bit of success, you can just see it's not isolated just to the Aussies. All teams celebrate.
Had that great opportunity to dive in and attempt in right field as well. Japan, though, looking the goods. They will turn it around quickly and get ready for Australia. New Zealand, they will rest up and get ready for a game in about 4.5 hours' time. Fiona Crawford, thank you so much for joining us in the commentary booth for this game.
It's my pleasure.
You've got another game to prepare for as well. Big thanks to Georgie Trickett. Great comments on the sideline, and everybody on the Spacequake Sports crew here on KO Sports and on Game Time Sport around the world. My name's Eric Balnar. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in about 90 minutes.